Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, live the life we love. It's Thursday, so it's story day. This is from Japan, called The Old Man and His Wen. Wen, W-E-N, just means like a mole or a wart or growth on your face. Once upon a time, there's an old man who lived with his wife near the forest, and not when he was younger, but as he got older, he started to get this wen, this mole on his face that kind of grew with his age. And as he aged, it got bigger. And he tried every single lotion, potion, medicine, all the different doctors and healers that he knew, but nothing helped. And so at some point, he just resigned himself to the fact, and even with like good spirit, kind of like made fun of himself, and that's how he was. One day, when he was off in the forest chopping some wood, he saw that there were some thunderclouds gathering. He thought, so, ooh, I should go for some shelter. I'll never make it home. I'll just get soaked. So he found this tree that was hollowed out, and he stepped into the tree, and then the rain came, and he was safe, and it was really great. But then, just as he was about to come out, he heard all this rustling, and first he thought, "Oh, it's probably my friends. They've come to look for me to see if I'm cooking." But it wasn't. It was a troop of demons, and so he freaked out, and he like hid in his. Oh my God! If they see me, I'm dead. But they stopped right in front of the tree, and they didn't see him, and they set out a big picnic. And the king of the demons said, "All right, who will dance for me?" And so the demons started to come out, and they were dancing, and they were so clumsy and stupid. They had no rhythm whatsoever. And the guy was saying, "They can't dance." And the king was saying, "Come on, can't anybody do any better than this? This is disgusting." And the guy, I don't know, he just threw caution to the wind. He jumped out of the tree and said, "I can dance, king." And the demons looked at him like what? But before they could do anything to him, he just started dancing. And he was pretty good at it. And so he kept moving and swaying. And before you know, the demons were clapping and beating their hooves, and they really, really liked it. And he realized, wow, if I don't do good, they're gonna eat me or kill me or something like that. So he put his whole concentration into the dance, and they were thrilled by it. And the king said, "Hey, come and sit here by me and have the feast with me." And it was great. And the king said, "I enjoyed you so much. Will you come here tomorrow and dance for me?" He says, "I certainly will." But the king's advisor said to him, "You can't trust these human beings. He says he'll be here, but then he'll leave. We have to have a guarantee that that'll come back." So the king thought, well, he has nothing of value. I'll grab that thing on his face. So he grabbed the wen, and it came off as easy as possible. And the man was thrilled to feel like his texture of the skin was soft again. "See you tomorrow." So he went home, and he was overjoyed, and so was his wife, to see his face. It was just beautiful again, like it was when he was younger. But his next door neighbor was very vain, and his next door neighbor also had a wen. And when he heard the story of how he went to the forest, he says, "I'm going to go there instead of you." And so the next door neighbor went, and the next day the demons and the king came out there, and he said, "Okay, dance for me." But the next door neighbor, he was a total klutz. He didn't know how to dance, and he was so clumsy and unrhythmic. The demon king said, "That's not how you were dancing yesterday. Go on, get out of here. I don't want to see you again." And he took the wen that he had and said, "Here, take this guarantee back." Now the guy had two wens on his face, and he came back, and he always wore a hat now, so no one can see because he was really embarrassed. But the other guy, who had the wen removed from him, he continued for the rest of his life to dance a lot and dance well. Oh, interesting story, huh? Getting rid of your wen. All right, so believing that there's some other joy elsewhere, better, worthier, that's what keeps us from seeing the joy that's available to us right here and right now. And to learn how to let little bits of joy into your life until joy becomes a natural way of living, it's tough to do, but you got to remember the choices we make is how we end up. It's like going to a buffet with your eyes closed and your nose so you can't smell and you can't see, and you randomly grab whatever's on the dais, and then you get back to your table, you take off your mask and you look and say, "How did this get in my plate?" Well, you chose it. So it's hard to recognize that just like the buffet, you don't have to choose things that you don't like. Now, yoga also talks about deep ecumenism. They say spirit is an underground river, All the paths, all the wells that dip into it, dip into the same river. So, although I've immersed myself in yoga and Eastern philosophy, I've also done some cross cultural comprehensive study. And most people will only warm their hands at another culture's fire. So, if you're an American, you speak English more than you probably speak Sanskrit or Parsi. So there are many gurus in our own tradition, many mystics in our own tradition saying the same thing. And so it's on you if you haven't taken the time to find that out. And of course, we all have something in our DNA that finds injustice offensive. Not everybody is going to work for social transformation to stir up things and demand things for everyone. But for those of us who are working in a small, quiet way in every relationship that we meet to try to make our own society, right? It says in the Gospels, don't tell your brother about the mote, the little thing in their eye. Take the log out of your own, you'll be able to see. So we all have our own work to do in our own culture, and not just trying to heal the whole world. But I like the model of what prayer is supposed to do, which is a certain kind of thought form, a certain kind of developing frequency, and how much it affects other people. It's not a quantifiable thing, we don't know, but it certainly affects the person who is praying. And there are studies that indicate prayer has its own efficacy. So I'm just suggesting this. There are 4 types of prayer. I hope you find your own way of doing this. The first part of prayer is what they call petition. You ask for yourself. You reach out to the cosmos. It's not wrong to recognize that you have needs. And in an interactive world, you want the cosmos to come and reflect back to you that you've been heard and you satisfy the need. There's also what's called intercession. Intercession is where your heart goes out to somebody else, and you're also supposed to feel compassion for other people in pain and suffering. And so, if there's anything that your prayer can do to alleviate it, you put that in the pot as well. Then there's what's called adoration. You pick any aspect of what I call the divine diamond, any facet of the divine diamond, and you go out on that. You look at how the divine beauty is, or you look at divine spaciousness, divine inscrutability, divine timing, divine order, whatever it is. And all of a sudden you recognize that since every facet of the diamond equals every other facet of the diamond, you connect to the unity by picking any one of the characteristics that you find adorable and you adore it. And then finally, there's contemplation, where you empty your mind completely, no thought forms, no memory of yourself, no past, no future, no thinking of other people. Just completely empty yourself out into the void, into pure spirit, into the abstract, universal, invisible spirit that everybody knows is there, but nobody can say exactly what it is, except the mystics who don't just talk about it. They are it, they experience it, they know it, they embody it. May we all do the same.